The seller of the original bathing suit blessed me with a close-up picture. I just checked out the instructions that come with this pattern and they are super unclear. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and to a new sewing challenge for me. Like everyone, I get hit with advertisements, and every now and then I get hit with an advertisement for something I actually want. However, since I learned how to sew, I have kind of vowed not to purchase from fast fashion brands if I can avoid it at all. And also sometimes something I see is very beautiful but just not within my budget or the budget that I have for buying clothes. So I really want to move towards trying to make those things for myself, or make things that are inspired by those things for myself. I can of course let things like this, trends and new things that pop up and things I see online, influence what I sew. I don't have to make everything an original design. For a long time I kind of felt like I had to, but I don't. I personally think that as long as you're not gonna sell, it is completely ethical to copy designs that you see elsewhere, just for your own use. And copyright in the fashion world is a very grey area in general. Yeah, with all of that said, the design I'm specifically talking about that really caught my attention when I got an ad for it is this. This is a stunning swimsuit, and I have actually found myself swimming a lot more since I do it as a workout every now and then at my local gym. I have found the swimsuits that I already have to be lacking. I have already made myself a swimsuit once and I really enjoyed doing that, so I would love to just try and make something similar to this myself. I love how this style is very delicate and feminine, but still covers more of the body than many modern swimsuits do. So yeah, definitely very much love this. So I set out looking for a fabric as similar to this as I could find because I love the color and print of this. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find anything similar to that with the same kind of softness, I guess. What I was able to find is something I also really like, but is a little bit more bold, and that is this fabric right here. I still think this is very feminine, could definitely work in a very soft setting like that. It's just not as muted and not as delicate as the other one. This is a bit brighter and bolder, which I think is alright. It works very well for summer. I really like this fabric as well. Plus I bought this in store, and since it is a white fabric, I really liked being able to check that it isn't see-through even when stretched out, because, you know, it is a swimsuit after all. Since I have very little experience with sewing bathing suits, I've made one before which was a very different design, I decided to find a pattern online that I could use as a base, and I ended up finding and arriving at the Mood Fabrics Marlowe swimsuit, which is a free printable pattern that they offer on their website, moodfabrics.com. They have a whole range actually of free printable patterns, which is amazing. Lots of basics there you could adjust to fit your needs better. But yeah, it's the Marlowe swimsuit is a very basic standard swimsuit pattern. Just when you think of a swimsuit, this is probably what you picture. And I think this is gonna be perfect. Most of that swimsuit that I'm kind of basing my design off of is a very basic swimsuit. It's just that it has ruching along the bust here and a slit down the center and then a tie. So I can use pretty much the whole just basic swimsuit pattern and only have to alter this bit right here, which should be easy enough. And I like having that security of having the basic pattern that someone else already made and tested for me before I start with this. So this pattern I do need to assemble. I printed this at home, so I'm gonna have to go in with my tape and tape all these together and then cut it out. And then I guess we can get started. For the lining, by the way, for this, I still had some lining left from the last time I made my swimsuit, and I thought I would use that up before purchasing new. In case you don't remember, that swimsuit that I made was a dark blue with little white droplets as a print. So yeah, the lining is dark blue, which is gonna add an extra layer of protection against see-throughness from this white fabric, but also this blue is in the print. So even if some of this blue were to pop out on the outside, I think it would actually look kind of cute, like an accent. So I think this should work altogether quite well. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a dark blue lining, This may not be a good idea, I don't know. We'll find out, we'll see. I don't really know what I'm doing here all that well, but we'll find out together. So, alright, let's get started by putting together this sewing pattern. I figured that the best way to alter this pattern would probably be to simply put it together as is, try it on and then make adjustments on my body. Since this has negative ease, it's kind of hard for me to determine where I need to cut in order to create that cutout that I require in order to insert the ruching there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and baste this with a zigzag stitch so that I can put it on, and then we can just draw on the bits where I need to cut. I also realized by doing this that I made a mistake when I was actually cutting out my pattern pieces. There's one bit where I cut out along the neckline, I cut out the right size everywhere. In my case, the second to smallest size, and then on the other side I ended up cutting the second to largest size. So one of my straps is now a lot smaller than it should have been, and my cutout in the back is much deeper than it was supposed to be, which I don't mind because I would have cut that out deeper if it hadn't already been like this. I'm considering also changing the shape of the bottom of this bathing suit a little bit into maybe more of a Brazilian type, like not an extreme one, but a little bit of that inward curve rather than outward curve. I feel like that's a little bit more flattering. I will just try this on, put it on inside out, and then I will just draw any adjustments I want to make on as I'm wearing it, and then we can go ahead and continue with that. Okay, the good news is, straight out of the box, it fits. I feel like I'm maybe a little bit taller than the intended height of someone who is gonna be wearing this bathing suit. I feel like the straps could have been a little bit longer, but it's okay. It's not uncomfortable or anything. It just feels like it could have been a little bit longer. What I am noticing though is this. I have a little bit of excess fabric here that I just need to go ahead and pinch away. I went ahead and drew the new shape of the bottoms that I want. Obviously, I'm not going to do that on camera. And now it's time for the bust part. So actually, the seller of the original bathing suit blessed me with a close-up picture, again in an ad on the internet that I just came across. Yeah, literally a close-up of the most difficult part of this whole bathing suit. So obviously I took a screenshot, but here you can see what it kind of looks like from up close, the construction of the whole kind of chest area here. So what I think I'm gonna have to do, cut it at an angle going back like this, and then kind of under the chest like that, which is going to be taking away a lot of fabric, and I hope it holds up, especially after I do also pinch this. I tried on the bathing suit with the new cut and everything looks good, so I'm just gonna go ahead and unpin these basting stitches. That's the word I was going for. Basting stitches, so that I can cut out my lining pieces. So to do that, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and pin this onto my lining fabric and just cut it around this. Alrighty, I now have my lining fabric on both of my pattern pieces, my outer fabric pattern pieces. I'm just gonna keep it pinned together for now, for as long as I can, because fabrics like this tend to roll on the edges, which is not good if you're trying to work with it. So next up, I'm gonna work on the chest area, and I kept the little bit that I cut out of the original design, and I'm gonna use this as a reference for how big I need this new section to be. So I want it to essentially be this again once it's scrunched up. So in the original bathing suit that I'm trying to replicate, it seems to have been made of 2 panels attached on the bottom, and then on the top they have a tie run through a channel that is then tied in the center to close off these sections, but there is a slit down the center. How much do I want to scrunch it? Not too much, because it needs to be comfortable. So maybe twice this width. For the height, I'm gonna do this plus maybe 2-3 centimeters to make that channel width. I'm gonna go ahead and make it this shape as well on the outside so that it matches up with what I already have. And then I'm gonna have to do gathering stitches through a stretchy fabric, fingers crossed. I hope this works. And if not, I'm gonna just have to manually gather it up, smush it as I sew it. All right, let's cut this out. I have way too much of this fabric. I can make 4 more bathing suits out of this. Oh well, at least I don't have to be afraid of making mistakes. Maybe I'll do a matching bikini set too. Okay, I have one of the cups done. Just wanted to go ahead and make one experiment before I show you how I did it. I think what I have now is good. So I cut it out with a straight edge on one side, which is going to be the center, which I then just folded over. I made sure to cut the lining a little bit smaller than the outer fabric on the edges that are going to be folded over. So here the lining is a little bit smaller. I just folded over the fabric just once. This won't fray, so it's okay. And then zigzag stitched it to create a clean inner edge. Folded it over a little bit further so that I have a little channel that I can thread a tie through. And then on the bottom I just did a simple gathering stitch, which worked, so it's gathered on the bottom. Oh, I didn't catch all of the lining in there, I see. Anyway, so that is 1 cup finished, and I'll be able to insert that into the actual bathing suit. So I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. To cut out the lining, I just did the same thing as I did with the actual like proper swimsuit. So let me just make the other cup as well, and then I think we will actually be able to start assembly, which is really exciting and complicated. I believe this is quite a complicated process already, but I just made it harder. We can do it. Let's go. I just checked out the instructions that come with this pattern, and they are super unclear. Like, it tells you how to sew up the side seams, but it never tells you how to do the shoulder seams and the crotch seam. Yeah, for some reason the neckline is elasticated, and I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that. So I think I'm gonna improvise from here on how I'm gonna assemble this. But what I do think I should do is attach the cups to the front before I attach the front to the back, which means that my next step is to make ties, the tie that will go through the top of both of my cups just so that I can sew the edge of the tie into the actual swimsuit. I'm just gonna make ties out of the main fabric here and figure out how long I need those to be, and try and thread them through my little loops here, and then we can go from there. The cups are in. It looks really good, really clean from the outside and clean from the inside as well. It's all hidden within the lining, so now I just need to figure out how I'm gonna attach everything together so that the seams are within the lining, because I think the thing that I was supposed to do I can no longer do, where you start with the outer fabric and then it's, oh wait, maybe if I do it in reverse. No, because the outer fabrics need to go on top of each other. Oh, but this could work though. Okay, wait. So I have to do outer fabric, lining, and that should lock the seams inside the lining. Let me just unpin this real quick and we can test that theory. I must say though, so far, I really like where this is going and I'm quite proud of myself for figuring this out, like the logistics of it. Outer fabric first, another outer fabric, both of them facing each other, then lining, which is already on there, and then another lining. I think this is it. I think this should work. And then I believe I'm only supposed to sew up the side seams like this. So I need to make sure to line everything up and pin this really well. It's gonna end up like this, with the seam hidden from the inside and the outside. Okay, that should work. Let me pin the other side and then I'll sew this shut and show you what that looks like. Okay, I just attached the shoulder seams and the crotch seam in the exact same way with the same stack, the same layers and everything. It flipped inside out perfectly. I honestly have no idea why didn't I just tell you to do that in the first place. But yeah, so next up I'm gonna have to close the leg holes, the armholes and back, like the neck of the back, neckline of the back. My time's up for today, so that's a job for tomorrow. Really like where this is going so far though. Cannot wait to see how this will come together. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, let's finish this bathing suit. So as I mentioned, next thing I'm supposed to do is finish all of the edges, which would be the armholes here and the leg holes. And I'm supposed, oh, and the back of course, and the shoulders. Pretty much anything that is still open and unfinished right now needs to be closed with an elastic. I have some swimwear elastic left from when I made my first bathing suit a couple of years ago. I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough. So what I'm gonna do is do this in order of priority. So first of all, I definitely need elastic around the legs. That's the most important part. Start with the legs, see how much I have left. After that, if I have enough, I will do the like armpit part with the elastic. And if I still have enough after that, I will do the back and shoulders as well. If I run out before then, I will just hem the back and shoulders as I did the front. I don't feel like I necessarily need elastic there. This bathing suit is pretty tight, so I think I should be fine. It's a really simple process. You just attach this elastic to both layers of the fabric, then flip it inside and stitch over it again, top stitch, and then you're done. So you want to make sure as you're sewing in the elastic to stretch it out really well. And that's it. So let's go. I was able to do the legs and the arm bits, but I don't have enough elastic left. Like this is how much I have left, which is not enough to go around the entire back and shoulders. So I'm gonna do the back and shoulders, yeah, just a regular old hem, very simple. And then I think it's actually gonna be finished. I'm gonna go ahead and try it on, see if anything needs adjusting, but I have kind of been trying it on as I went, and I think it's gonna be good. Let's get this finished. The bathing suit is done. I have to say I am very happy with it. This is pretty much exactly what I was going for. The cut of this is so similar to that inspo picture that I had. You can take a look at it again right here. I am wearing shorts, so you're just gonna have to take my word for the fact that the bottom looks the way I intended it to. But yeah, very, very happy with this. It is what I hoped for, and I cannot wait to wear this when summer comes around. Couple of things, of course, that I will do differently next time. First of all, it really is a little bit too tight. I'm not sure how much this will stretch when it gets wet, but just vertically, it's just too short. Also, the armholes are a little tight. It's pretty close to my armpits. I would have preferred that to be a little bit bigger. The shape of the cups that I made, I feel like this bit looks a bit strange, like going up. I think it would have been better if it had been just a straight line, or even a straight line going in towards the center. Because I also feel like with this gap here, there's just a little bit too much fabric here. But those are just tiny little things. Overall, I am very happy with it, very satisfied. I know I will get lots of wear out of this, and I'm so excited, can't wait. One more look at the back. This was a lucky mistake, because this is the bit that I ended up cutting too much, because I cut out the wrong size. But yeah, I do like a lower back like this, and it does feel secure even with the lower back. This was really, really fun. I will link to the pattern in the description box. It's a free download, so you can just go ahead, print this out yourself and make this too. If you would like to have a go at making swimwear, it really isn't as hard as you would think. The main thing is that you need to use zigzag stitches throughout the entire thing. Make sure to stretch the fabric and the elastic as you go. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Other than that, it's just standard sewing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. I hope I've maybe encouraged you to make some swimwear for yourself, or maybe for your children or someone else in your life. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see all of the other projects that I still have planned for you guys. If you'd like to support me through Patreon, there's a link in the description box below. Thank you so much for your support. There is another video here that I think you might also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you for watching once again, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!